is it gonna be when it's due to renew every year? Are we gonna put it out there every year? Put it in the Miami Herald or anything?
Well, if you're just renewing the option of this list, we
Yeah.
would just bring the list back and say,
No.
allow me to renew it. If you want us to put it back out, then
Yeah.
we would seek the direction from you to put it back out.
Okay. We need a
Move,
motion.
move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve tab C. That motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Bieneme. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. Item passes with a 4-1 vote. Tab E, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to issue a change order to Country Bills Lawn Maintenance, Inc. in the annual amount of $35,980 to complete additional land maintenance services, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Mr. Estrada.
Yes, once again, Mr. Mayor, council members, the item that you have before you under tab E is simply staff's request for your approval of a proposed change order for additional services to the contract issued to Country Bills Lawn Maintenance Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $35,980 annually. As reflected in the report that's submitted in support of the item, on October 23rd of 2018, last year, the council approved the award of bid solicitation number 551718 issued for the provision of lawn maintenance services to Country Bills for the amount of $250,000 a year. Since then, staff has identified additional areas within the city which are in need of services, and therefore is requesting the approval of the proposed change order as described in the report. I believe that you all have been provided also with a copy of the areas that are to be covered by this proposed change order. There are 6 different areas, and essentially they are by the I-95 corridor, I-95 on 119th Street, I-95 on 125th Street, I-95 on 135th Street, I-95 in Opaloka Boulevard, I-95 on 131st Street, and I-95 on 143rd Street. And once again, you should all have a summary of the areas that are covered by this proposed change order. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to take them.
Thank you very much. I guess we'll go straight to the public before we come to the dais. This item is now open for the public. See no one, hear none. Therefore, the item is closed for public hearing.
Mr.
You can go.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I had asked to pull the item from consent agenda, but staff provided me with the required
Yeah,
information I needed, so I'm okay now. So if there's any question, I'll move for approval.
Second. I have a motion made by Councilman Azume to approve tab E. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote.
Now, mine is in there.
Item passes with a 4-1 vote. Tab G. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing a waiver of competitive bid procedures pursuant to section 7-120B of the procurement code, and authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with Southeastern Seating, Inc. in the aggregate amount not to exceed $892,590 for the purchase and installation of stadium seating at the Ronald L. Book Stadium, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Once again, Mr. Mayor, council members, the item that you have before you under tab G is staff's request for your authority to waive the competitive bid procedures for the purchase, demolition, installation of a new stadium seating and press box replacement project at the Ronald L. Book Athletic Stadium, which is allowed and afforded by the provisions of section 7120B of the city's Code of Ordinances, and to further authorize the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with Southeastern Seating Incorporated for the project in amount not to exceed $792,590, plus an additional project contingency amount of $100,000 for a total contract amount of $892,590. As reflected in the report that's submitted in support of the item, in an effort to try to expedite this project, our office researched several national cooperatives to identify a current viable contract which the city could piggyback on to carry out this work. Accordingly, a contract was identified through the Interlocal Purchasing System, which is a national cooperative. It was a contract with a company by the name of Southern Bleacher Company, not to be mistaken with the current company being recommended for award. And Southern Bleacher was contacted by staff and requested that a proposal be submitted for this project. As a result, Southern Bleacher submitted a price, a lump sum price of $1,292,000. Upon review by staff, it was deemed obviously to be too high a price to pay for this project. Consequently, staff then turned to and contacted Southeastern, which is a Florida-based firm, has over 20 years of experience manufacturing stadium seating and providing installation services, and requested a proposal for this project. Previous Southeastern customers include Hillsborough County, Polk County, School Board of Orange County, Sumter County School Board, and numerous other public agencies. Following Southeastern's review of the existing conditions and the scope of work coordinated with staff, they have submitted a price proposal of $792,590, which includes, but it's not limited to, engineering plans and permitting, manufacture of new stadium seating and press box, temporary bleachers, demolition and installation services for the stadium seating and the press box replacement project. And excuse me, in addition, staff also procured the services of an independent third-party consultant to review the proposal from Southeastern and to provide us with a report of their review. The firm AECOM was contacted and a report was requested following their review, and their conclusion is that in their professional opinion, the Southeastern proposal is reasonable and they've recommended their approval. Moreover, AECOM's own estimate for this project is $971,490, which is approximately 18% higher than the Southeastern proposal. In accordance with Section 7120 of the City's Code of Ordinance, this council may waive any condition which is imposed by the procurement code upon 4/5 vote when it finds that such a waiver to be necessary in order to proceed with the issuance of a contract which is in the best interest of the city. With regards to this project, the stadium work needs to start as soon as possible and be completed as soon as possible. And in order to do so, staff has determined that this is the most expedient course of action to follow. More importantly, our recommendation for approval is also supported by the 3 different cost estimates that are provided to you, with the lowest price by far being the one submitted by Southeastern. Given the above, staff respectfully request the council authorize the waiver of competitive bidding procedures for this stadium seating project, in accordance with Section 7120B of the City's Code of Ordinance, and further authorize the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and finalize an agreement with Southeastern Seating Incorporated for amount not to exceed $792,590, and to also approve an additional project contingency amount of $100,000 to cover the cost of any unforeseen conditions or city requested changes which may occur throughout the course of the work. Here with me in support of this item is the Parks Director, Mr. Derek Corker. So if you have any questions for either one of us, and also there's a representative here from Southeastern, Mr. Nick Freeman. So if you have any questions, we'll be glad to take them. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, pains me to talk. Just want to point out a small discrepancy in the advertisement. Hopefully it doesn't change anything. But the name of the stadium is North Miami Athletic Stadium. It's not the Ron Book Stadium. I love you, Ron. But Ron's name is only on the track that goes around the stadium. So we just need to make sure that for historic reference, it is the North Miami Athletic Stadium.
That
Thank
is
you,
correct, Councilman.
We'll now open the item to the public. Anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on this item? See none, hear none.
Move approval.
And with a second, with a few quick questions. You were talking about a waiver of the permits fee?
No. We had to wait
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
bidding process.
That's
Yeah,
fine, that's
yeah.
fine. Another question, do you know how much for the fence and the locker room? Did you do an evaluation of that?
In
Yes.
terms of the breakdown?
Yeah, the fence was roughly about $55,000 for the interior fence that goes around the bleachers
Mm-hmm.
and the outer fence that
Total,
runs
the-
along
the-
151st.
From the outside, yeah.
That along 151st into the stadium itself. In regards to the the locker room facility that wanted to be added with showers, we had an estimated cost of $425,000. So we were going to be looking to come back to the council.
For
that.
25 plus one? For the fences?
The fence is 55.
The entire fences?
Yes, that's for both fences though, the interior and exterior of the fencing.
Okay, and I think if we already spend over $1 million for the field, and now we are spending close to $1 million, it will be nice if we can find the additional $500,000 in order to do the fences and the locker room. Maybe put it in the upcoming budget.
We'll
Find way
look
to
at,
add
we'll,
that.
actually, we'll look at it right now. We'll see,
Okay.
we'll evaluate our impact fees and see where we are. And.
Yeah, like
and,
impact
yeah.
fee, like permitted, if we can waive
Right.
that and then add the 55,000.
And we'll get back.
for
We
the
may be
locker
able to
room.
bring back an item
Yeah.
sooner.
Can I, one quick question, and I think I asked you this, Mr. Manager. Are these bleachers gonna have a cover, on top of them?
Councilman, no, sir, no bleachers. There would still be the same bleachers as you have. For additional cost, there are options to have covered bleachers, but we did not put in a cost projection for the cover to be over the bleachers as well.
Because if we're spending $1 million for some bleachers, the bleachers that are already there, and that's something that it's badly needed, I would hope that we had at least that option to see how much more if we could have a covered bleachers. That's what I would like to see.
If you want, what we can do, if you will indulge us, the administration this evening, and pass this item,
Yes.
at the next meeting, I can bring back what that price differential is.
Sure.
Because
Yes,
we're
no
really trying
problem.
to get them open for the,
Was it?
for the football
second?
season. Yeah.
Another
fine.
thing I was
Yeah, there
asking
was,
you,
yeah.
another thing I was asking you, did you have an estimate about it? And if we make the base with concrete, in some other stadiums, I see that
The,
instead of having the
In the
those iron
proposal, the new slabs are gonna be all concrete. Currently, right now, we don't have, you have a little asphalt or concrete slabs for the foundations,
fence. Okay.
but this is, we'll have a entire poured
the
slab
base.
for the whole, underneath the whole.
But you don't know the estimate. Can you give us an estimate about that for the concrete? As
It's
the base.
included, the concrete is included in
No, I'm
this.
talking about
in-
for the base.
The system you have now my name's Nick Freeman with Southeastern Seating. The system you have in place now, which I don't know if y'all have seen it, is about to fall apart. It's so rusted. It's on an I-beam, it's an I-beam system. It's on concrete piers. And I
Yeah.
can tell you, those piers no longer meet hurricane code.
No, I
Where
understand
those
that.
piers will come out, there'll be a
No,
solid
that's not
slab
what-
poured.
That's not what we are discussing. We're talking about the entire foundation with concrete like I see them in some stadium, not
Correct.
just that.
It will be all solid concrete. I actually met with Ernie Ramos today with your department. I saw all the trash piling up kind of in the wetlands
Yeah.
behind the stadium. This will give the ability for cleanup. They can blow the trash to the front, then sweep it up and take it out. So it'll help you contain some of your trash problems you have on site also.
So, Mayor, I had a motion made by Councilman Godwin to approve this item. The second was made by Vice Mayor Bieneme. So at this moment, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote. Tab H, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager per the interlocal agreement between Miami-Dade County School Board and the city to deposit into escrow $5 million from operating cash, which represents Miami-Dade County's contribution to the Cadney Park project until such time as the city is able to obtain the funds from the county, providing for an effective date and all other purposes.
Through the mayor, this item, I think we all have a lot of background on. As you know, the city entered into an agreement with the school board some years ago to do a number of schools, and the final piece of that was the recreation of Cagney Park. As part of, matter of fact, this item was also, the funding for this park was also included in 2006, 2004, Building Better Communities General Obligation Bond that was issued by the county. I executed the interlocal agreement a few days ago, which requires us within the next 60 days to deposit what is called the city's portion, and the city's portion is $7 million. $2 million of that we've already allocated from our city funds. The other remaining $5 we intended to come from the county from that GOB allocation. I have to date submitted, well, we have submitted five requests to the county requesting the money, including the resolution that you recently passed, formally requesting the money. I thought it was just.
When you say the county, can you specify what department at the county level? Is it the planning commission or the mayor's office? Who? I mean,
well,
the county doesn't mean
we have
biggie.
been working with the our district commissioner's office, Commissioner Monestein's office, in trying to get the GOB item onto the agenda for final approval. I know that a number of our citizens have gone to meet with the commissioner as well, requesting, and advocating for this item to be moved, and again, which prompted us to bring the legislative item to this board to formally request the money. So I thought it was prudent that, for two reasons. One, we need to get this project done for our constituency, but also in executing the interlocal agreement, we have now legally bound ourselves to some milestone dates. We've already missed the first date, which was January 31st. We were supposed to have selected architects by the 31st of this year, and it's outlined in the council report. I expect we can absolutely catch up back to our timeline, but I'm asking that you authorize me to take this temporary funding, if you will, from our available operating cash while we seek the reimbursement from the county.
So do the people in this room clearly understand what this gentleman just explained? I know the people who are aware of this item, probably you just aware and you do have, knowledge of it. But now this is your opportunity to opine on it, to give your thoughts, and because it's been a long, journey. Public hearing is now open.
Hi, Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard. I do understand what our administration is proposing that we do, and I do agree with him that that's the smartest decision. We need to deposit our funds into the escrow account so that we can maintain our deal with the school board. However, I just want to put on the record that a number of our residents, myself including, have taken the time to request meetings, to have meetings with our county commissioner, Gene Monestein. And in meeting with Gene Monestein, we have done everything that he has asked us to do in order for him to put this on the county commission agenda. He sent us back to talk more with our city legislators, and then back again to get the official request from our city asking for the money. He said it was as simple as that. We need our city to ask for the money. So within a week and a half, the city of North Miami passed the resolution officially asking for the money. And yet we still have not heard a word in response to from our county commissioner. In fact, we sent a follow-up letter signed by all of the homeowners association presidents along with the resolution saying, okay, we've done our part, we've operated in good faith, and yet we still don't have the funding to our park. I also want to remind other residents that we are part of the tax-paying base of Miami-Dade County. We're paying for our share of the general obligation bond, and yet we have not received the benefits that the voters were giving to the citizens of North Miami. And that is the $5 million for a water-based park in our city. We're paying for it. We've been paying for it for over 14 years, and we have yet to receive it. And the only holdup, excuse me, just one more moment, is that we fail to have a county commissioner who will place this on the agenda, and that is the holdup. And I would like to encourage North Miami to do everything they can to recover this money back into our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sarah McDevitt, 14490 Northeast 10th Avenue. I feel worried. You know, if we've had so many non-responses from the commissioner, you know, taking on this money as our own debt right now makes me concerned, but I will say, you know, that we need this park. My daughter's 13. She was born expecting that, you know, down the street from us we would have a park, and we still don't have a park. I fear that she's going to graduate from high school without this park. So I have to say that I also support us taking this on, because we can't afford to go another cycle without this park. Thank you.
Jessica Alston, 1140 Northwest 125 Street in Sunkist Grove. Just want to stand to remind everyone that part of the deal that we're talking about with the Miami-Dade County Public Schools was that the green site next to the Celestine Center would remain a green site, which means a park, which is still just an empty lot. And there's been various rumors that people have dreams and ideas of it being affordable for affordable housing use. That was the only thing that was given to the west side of the city. And I want to remind you, we expect that to be, that green space to be a green space. We too are part of the tax-paying base of this city. Nothing has been given to the west side of the city. You have your $10 million park, Cagney Park. You have this stadium project in North Miami. But what about Sunkist Grove? What about? I saw you put down 3 little plastic swings there near the Celestine. That land, part of the deal is that it be a green space. Part of it being a track, Ms. Judy Brown, I hope you come up next and speak on this. A track walk. And we are expecting for you to keep your word. No money has been allocated to us, and it's unfair.
Good evening, Judy Brown, 1100 Northwest 128 Terrace. Welcome back, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Glad to see you.
Thank you.
We have not obtained anything for Sunkist Grove, and I've been there 40 years. And finally, I did see where we have gotten about the swings are gone, because we had the old swings with the rubber for the kids to swing in. It's been there for 40 or 45, 50 years. And I do hope that in due time that we will get what's coming to us over in the city. But to talk about this item with Cagney Park, we have met, Ms. Austin and I and the other homeowners association president with Councilman Monestein's office. And he has assured us that that money is there and that the only thing they had to do was request the money, and so you moved on. So hopefully that will be it done. But we are counting on Dr. Disame to look out for Sunkist Grove. I am so concerned about all of that debris that's being put over on that 9.2 green space over there, because I know that's going to come up to haunt us later on. It needs to stop. It's just too much. The field is, it's the piles and piles of concrete. So what's going to happen to that? And we need our park. We really need that walking space. That park is running over at the seams. We really, really need that. So parks are things that we need for the city on all sides, central side, but we need to have a seat at the table as well. Thank you.
William Prevotel, 11950 North Bay Shore Drive. Just very briefly, if that is the case on the west side, that it is being somewhat neglected and is not being served as well as it should be, I'd like to call on our council to give it greater attention and our staff to give it greater attention and to start to, whether it's finding money from other sources or somehow making a dent on whatever's needed there, and to preserve the green space as best as possible near the Celestine Center. I'm confident that even if there are intentions of having low-income housing or workforce housing there, I'm sure somewhere near we'll be able to incorporate it in some form, some way, and some way that's convincing. So thank you for giving the West Side the attention it needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearing is still open on the item, but I see no one, hear none.
Can I say something, Mr.
Public hearing is closed.
Yeah. I just wanted to say something, and I normally do not reply back to, I guess, public comments, but a lot of he and say was just said about the West Side. Rest assured, and I've been part of this fabric of this city for a while, I don't think that particular property had anything to do with the obligation bond. Our area, with the help of my colleagues here, we voted millions for my area. So people are, I guess, selecting different sides. No, it's not being neglected. So please be educated or request a meeting with me or the city manager or administration if you need to know which project that's going on. And that space, which I've promised Ms. Brown, I think 4 years ago, that it would be a green space, that still will remain. And in fact, we met with administration a couple weeks ago. Tanya and we met with the city manager to have a plan on what we would like to see there, and we'll take public input. So if you do not know what's happening, and as your council representative, you have not called me or requested a meeting with me, and I'm very accessible, please do not come up here and make it seem like, you know, the city is stuff happening on the east, nothing on the west. Just say you don't know, you are misinformed. And I would like for you to please get with me or get with the administration and ask what's going on so that we could tell you. Thank you.
Okay, we're still on the item of the, which item again? Cagney. Yeah, Cagney.
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this money, the county put aside, I believe, $5 million for us long before we ever got on the council.
Yep.
And we have that money, and if we don't use it, number one, we lose it. We have the school board with $3.5 million for us, and we have set aside, is it $1.7 million? $2 million for this park. If you want to talk about not having anything on the west side, on the east side, the east southern side in my district, there's little tiny parks. We don't have a field. We have a field at the top. We have no pool. We've gotten our pool taken away. We've got no tracks. We have nothing. So we do need Cagney Park also. You've got all this down at Pepper. That being said, I actually had a conversation with the commissioner who also told me, oh, the money's there, you just need to do a resolution. And I went back and I said, we actually did a resolution about a year ago, but a few months ago, we did another resolution. Mr. Manager, through the mayor, what was the last time you communicated with Commissioner Monisting? You mentioned you just recently sent,
Yeah, when we passed the resolution in September, I sent it 15 days later to his office. The last and I talked to his.
you should microphone, please.
My apologies. I talked to his chief of staff. They acknowledged receipt of my email correspondence, stated that they would be getting back with me, but I haven't seen it. We sent a formal letter that was returned,
You sent a certified letter?
certified letter.
Why was it returned?
It just says unclaimed.
Unclaimed. So we have I just want this on the record, because if that's, I mean, we can, look at that and all, but
That's why I was,
our city
Our next-
has sent a letter to our county commissioner, and someone in that office has refused to accept a certified letter from our city, and I just want that on the record.
When you say unclaimed, by U.S. Postal Services, by what did it go?
Return to sender, unclaimed.
Unclaimed, but did it actually make it to their door?
Yeah.
No, but sometimes they leave, like after hours. They may have mailed a little card, a little note
I just
for
want
them
that
to
on the
go
record,
to the
so
post office. Huh?
Mr. Mayor,
I did two things before Scott. And after, first of all, I encourage that the homeowners association go and meet with the commissioner. Secondly, I was making sure not only I asked the administration to send a certified to the commissioner, I actually asked the homeowners association to bring it to the commissioner. That's when either way we send it over there, and they accepted from the homeowners association. Whether they did not receive the certified one, but the homeowners association went and delivered a piece of mail directly to the office of
You can
Commissioner
get the sheriff
Monissim.
to deliver it.
Yeah.
If we have this, you can get the chief to do it. If he doesn't mind. Go ahead.
Sure, thank you. Mr. Spring, Commissioner Monesteem is clearly not wanting to give us the money. He doesn't want this agendized. Can we, A, go to another commissioner? Will they agendize it? Or B, take legal action because it was a general obligation bond project?
So the reason why I'm recommending we take this action is so that we have additional appropriate levels of standing to say, hey, we did everything, made every effort, including temporarily using our own funds. My plan is now I need to go directly to the mayor to get it put on as a total agenda item because, in total, he is the manager of the county, and this is in the general obligation as a listed line item project. So it's not maybe or anything. It's specific. So to give them opportunity to respond, but I think you guys know, and we try to maintain the appropriate level of quorum and deference to our local representatives on the county commission. So if there's an item that affects Commissioner Monesteem's area, we make sure that we go through their office. Same thing with Commissioners Hayman. If there's an item that it's in her area, we go through their office, and typically they're the ones that will then inform staff at the county proceed. So we're just kind of following our normal process.
Rose is here, we can give it to her.
So
Rose is here, we can give it to her.
So yes, the next step would be get this item, and then send a communication to the mayor.
What would be our timeline for letting that play out? Because it's time to get this park built one way or the other.
We're moving. I have to move forward. That's why I'm asking you to put the money in the account, because we need to procure the architects. Actually, because you guys approved the CCNA list, now I can select one off of there depending on how much the.
You cannot.
Well, oh yeah, you're right, because the total project is. You're right. So we have to do an RFP
Real quick,
for the
yeah.
architect, because the total project is over the $2 million threshold. So I have to just get that process started, and I couldn't do it until I had the money set aside.
Can we also put together something on the website, the city's website, that summarizes what's happening? I probably get asked about Cagney Park more than anything else in the city. And it would be good to have a updated place to say, oh, go to the website.
Here's where we
Here's
are.
where we are.
If and I'll direct people. If you look at my my council report attached to this item, I actually have the remaining project timeline. We're due to have this. We have to have this park completed, closed out, open and operating, all phases, by April 30th, 2021. We have to have phase 1 done by March 31st of 2020, which is the multipurpose field and all the parking. That has to be done by that date. That's almost a year from today. So we don't have a whole lot of time to be screwing around. So
Can you just jump to legal action?
well, no, we'll go through the county and then I'll hand it over to the attorney at that point.
Can we have an update at our next council meeting?
Absolutely.
Mr. Mayor, if there aren't any other questions, I move approval of the item.
Second.
Have a motion made by
One quick question, and I'm in support of the item. Are we confident that removing the 5 million would not hurt us elsewhere?
Absolutely.
Okay, just wanted that on the record. Thank you.
Motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve tab H. This motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote. Tab I, proposed ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, amending chapter 12 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Nuisance, at Article 7 entitled Unsafe Buildings and Structures, to create a new unsafe structure ordinance, providing for repeal, conflicts, severability, codification, and for an effective date.
Mr. Mayor, Council, as I said during the presentation on the Clean City, this was something that we proposed last year. We said we'd bring it back this year, and we are bringing it back. This is the, basically, a number of years ago, the county actually passed an ordinance that allows cities to do this, to have their own unsafe structures board. So this ordinance pretty much follows all the other ordinances. It follows the county ordinance. It just gives us the ability to have our own board here. The only thing I would point out is, and I've mentioned to you all during briefing, is the board has to be made of professionals. As you know, one of the things that this unsafe structures board can do is pretty much, demolish someone's home after they've gone through the due process. So for this board, there's a requirement that there be an engineer, an architect, a general contractor, an electrical contractor, a plumbing contractor, real estate appraiser, real estate property manager, or a resident with a background in the field of social problems. I wanted to point that out because anyone appointed to the board has to have one of those backgrounds. They can either come from you or you may wish staff to solicit those folks, but we can't have this board unless we have those professionals on that board. So I hope that you'll support this and pass the ordinance allowing us to move on with our own unsafe structures board in the city of North Miami. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The item is now open to the public. Anyone who wishes to be heard, please come forth. See none, hear none. So public hearing is now closed.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve item I. That motion was seconded by Mayor Smith Joseph. Roll call vote. Mayor Joseph, how do you vote?
Yay.
Councilwoman Keys?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bieneme?
Yes.
Councilman Dezume? Oh, shit. Councilman Galvin?
Yes.
All right, well, item passes with a 4-0 vote now. We'll record Alex's vote when he gets back to the dais.
Now, the only question, Mr. Attorney, when will we be getting guidance or list of potential, qualified members?
If that's the way you'd like us to move, then I'll work with staff.
Well, I don't know if that's the
you have to
direction.
tell me. I mean, if you all want to select individuals, then we can, next meeting, if you have names, then I'd like the city attorney to vet those names to make sure that they have the qualifications.
That's our duty to create boards.
Or you can recommend that we go out and find the folks for you. It's either way.
I mean, the only reason I mean, that's the same issue that you and I discussed. Of course, we do have, as, elected officials, the duty to choose, these these members. But by the same token, I can't say that we don't have the what should I say, the contacts of people who may be qualified.
what-
We
what I-
just want to don't have to go back and forth, having me choosing someone and ended up, someone with no, experience whatsoever. With,
So what we can do then is I'll, through my office, will solicit, folks that meet the qualifications, and we'll have a list. Anyone who wants to choose from that list can choose from the list. If you have someone that you want on your own that you'd like to appoint, then you can appoint whoever you like on your own. If we could have those names by the next meeting, so that we can have the appointments by next meeting, that'd be great. But I'll get a list together, folks.
Fair enough.
All right, Mayor, Councilman Dezume just showed up. Councilman Dezume, how would you like to vote on tab I?
Yay.
Okay, so item passes with a 5-0 vote. That was tab I. Tab J, discussion regarding Reflexon funeral home application for special exception permit.
Okay, so I'm gonna speak on this item. It says that I'm the sponsor. I'm not actually the sponsor.
Yes, it is. You're the sponsor.
How did you put that?
So this is a request that came from.
No, wait. If you did not add it, we
I'm
cannot
about to
discuss that.
I'm about to explain, sir, if I can explain.
Okay, you take responsibility
I'm
for it.
about to explain, yes, sir.
Okay.
May I proceed?
No, it's up to the
Mayor, may I
the
proceed?
mayor.
Well, you can at least give us a short explanation as
Okay,
to why.
so,
why
because,
we do that.
well, part of the reason I want to explain is because I think people think that I'm in support of this, and I'm not. So
but
I want to
you're
make that
talking
clear on the record.
behalf
You've
of
done
the
it to me a
item.
bunch of times too.
So this item, Mr. Wolin came to me, and he's not here tonight, so I'm not sure what that's about.
So we can
well,
discuss this.
no,
Discuss it.
sir.
If the
if
sponsor of it can, I mean,
I have to ask you all something, so if I could please finish my explanation, I would appreciate it.
Go ahead.
We passed in the LDRs processes for Board of Adjustment and other boards. When an applicant goes to one of those boards, there are things that they can do, such as appeal, they can refile, they could show that there's been a substantial change in the application, and then go through that process. That's the process that should have been followed here. Mr. Wolin came to my office and said, hey, I don't want to appeal, I want to come to the board and ask for the board to send it back which is not a process that's in the board of that's in.
Okay, why you?
So, but he can ask as a member of the public and as an attorney to be put on the agenda, which is what he asked. My recommendation to you all is, if he does come, and I don't see him here tonight, is to reject that and to let him know to follow the
No, you cannot tell us
processes
what
that.
to do. You shouldn't talk on the behalf of the project. You tell him that's not the process, and that's end of the story.
So I can't
That's
tell.
privilege that
okay, so
by
that
putting
being,
this even
if
on
we
the
are not going
agenda.
to discuss it, then
Yeah.
let's just forego it and let him take the proper route.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
So we
Thank you.
shouldn't take any, so we don't need to take any action?
No
That's
action
all.
is
Good.
to be taken.
That's
We
it.
shouldn't even burn it if it's not.
No, that's okay. Any reports? No, that's what we have citizen phone.
No, you have another discussion item, sir.
Where is it?
It's there.
Okay, okay.
Discussion regarding nomination for vacant
Okay.
position in the
So
in the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust, FMIT Board.
Why didn't put my name in there?
Yeah, you were.
I'm on the board, and I request that.
That it be put on here for your
Yeah.
reappointment.
may
Oh,
for the
somebody
board.
said they needed 2 people or 3 people?
No, it's.
That's what I thought.
Like to nominate Vice Mayor Biename for the
Second.
open position.
Yeah.
All right.
If there is vacancy, we always can comment.
No, we good. You.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to nominate Vice Mayor Bieneme, and that motion was seconded by Councilman Desulme. All in favor? All opposed? Item passes 5-0.
All right, citizen forum is now open for anyone who wants to be heard on any item whatsoever, from paying your taxes, water bills, the electricity bill. You have 2 minutes, 2 wonderful minutes to do so.
Good evening, everyone. My name Odette Luben. I'm living 537 Northeast 132nd Street. The boss coming to fix my window 12 window, pack window, 12 window, and 3 doors. Years ago, they come in, they break one window for my bathroom. They break in, they put plywood and whip. I keep call many time. I'm living district 3 since 1989. I'm keep call maybe 25 times. I'm coming to this office. I know money was there, but they refuse to make a 2 window for me, and plus they pack the door, they break in, they make plywood. City manager, I will talk to city manager. I'm 66 years old. I have 9 grandchildren. I got 6 children, and my husband be 6 since 1987. The money I will there, I don't know why I'm living in this street and nobody wanted to fix my window. And Monday I will there. I got a lot of problem in this in Miami, Florida.
Is it a job that we did, that the city did, one of the city projects? Hmm?
Yes, it is.
The grant that Ms. Odell is referring to, back in 2016, she did get a $10,000 grant. Back then, that was a grant that when you guys gave money from the general fund to do grants, and it was a $10,000 grant at that time. That's what we were given, was $10,000 grant. We did the $10,000 worth of work on her property. It didn't cover all of her windows. It covered some windows and some doors. The one issue that's happening now, Ms. Odell is comparing herself to some of the other ones where now we're doing $25,000 grants through some of the programs, and she's saying that she didn't get that. Right now, our guidelines say once you do get assistance from the city in one of these things, you only get assistance one time. You cannot reapply. So we shared that information with Ms. Odell. And I mean,
Yeah,
That's when it was 13 windows.
Yeah, 'cause
We did 12.
11, not 12.
We did 11. Okay, we did 11, and and we paint the house for the
we did
$10,000.
worth of work. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then there's how many
If
more
they
windows?
can't fix it, the window white, they break in, the window,
How many?
they make a plywood.
How
and
many
whip.
left?
That's not fair.
How many windows left? 2, right?
I got 2 doors in in the window, they break and they make plywood and
When
whip.
you say they,
and Lado
you-
Kaki wash, Lado wash
May-
coming in my house every day,
Yeah, but
every night. And thank you, Mr. Mayor. You do one thing for me. I never forget you. I'm always pray for you. I got one water bill coming, $675. When we go
Yes.
over there and then I say, can you help me? You say, Nene, you save $370.
Yes.
God bless you and your family.
Thank you.
I never forget praise for you.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Ms. Odette. Hello, Ms. Odette. 2 weeks ago, right, in the lobby here, you remember?
Yes.
You called me, we had a conversation, and the deputy manager was there. And I believe the question is we would look and review your case and get back with you. You never give us that opportunity. Did you expect for
He
us-
say he coming to my house tomorrow.
So did you
He never come in.
Okay, okay.
Anytime
Well,
call,
she only
call,
has
call,
2 minutes.
nobody
She only
answer my
has 2 minutes.
question. I'm
Is there anything that we can do? Can we project a meeting? Is it?
I spoke to her we spoke last Thursday, I think it was.
Yes.
Thursday or
Si-
Friday.
yes, Mr.
So
City
I'm
Manager.
trying to work with the CP&D staff to
Yes,
see if we
please.
can do something. Okay.
Please.
So.
All right.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
Hi, Sarah McDevitt, 14490 Northeast 10th Avenue. I just want to say last time I was here, we talked a little bit about Pioneer Boulevard. Was super excited to see finally the dead tree that's been there for a couple years come down this last week. That was really nice, but there still are a few more dead ornamental trees, and I hope that the attention is going to continue over there on Pioneer Boulevard. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Claudia Pasmino, 13504 Northeast 23rd Place. I would like to thank the council because the last time I was here, I spoke about the library, and you guys actually came through. One of the signs that I've been complaining about got cleaned. So I drove to the library one evening, and I'm like, oh my God, they changed it. But I looked closer, and it got cleaned, which is a big difference. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope the rest of the signs will soon get replaced for new ones. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jessica Alston, 1140 Northwest 125 Street in Sunkist Grove. I just have a question about what was the process that was used to approve the NOMI Festival, music festival. At the last meeting, at the end of the meeting, was a proposal put on about charging $10 for admission, and it was supposedly postponed for another time. And the next thing I saw was a commercial on TV, or I think it was a Facebook commercial saying that the admission was $10 to for the festival, and added $15 for after party at Mocha. So this is the next meeting. Yeah, it's funny. It's very funny. That's why I'm here. It was this is the next meeting after that meeting, and I want to know by what process and how was that done? Because it wasn't done through a council meeting. Maybe be clear. This was saying that it was for water, or to supplement people's water bill, and was $10 that was going to be at Mocha. It was changed to be $10 at Cagney Park with a $15 after party at Mocha. And I'm asking how and when was that changed? How was that done? Because this is the next meeting. After that suggestion that was done at the end of the meeting, there was no.
Let Mr. Manager give a brief, possibly a brief.
There's nothing.
I don't know if there is.
The item was brought.
I know it was brought up to me, we discussed it, but I didn't know that it was discussed in the prior,
Yeah, it was approved here.
Hmm?
Yeah, she missed that part.
Okay, so it was discussed.
But what about the 15
I remember.
after party? We did not approve that part.
In all fairness, I remember voting in favor of it
Yeah,
being
we voted for
$10 and being moved to Cagney Park. That did happen. It happened relatively quickly, but it was.
After party?
I don't remember the after party, but I'm just saying.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, since everybody's giggling, let's talk about the after party. What's up with the after party?
What time does it
Was that-
start?
what- I get it. I'm right there with you. I am right there with you saying we have too many events, too many parties in this city. But that was approved up here, whether we like it or not. Okay. Mr. Manager, how was the after party addressed? Okay. Jessica, come on. You've had the microphone. You said that the West Side gets nothing. I want to point out the Celestin Center, which is relatively brand new that you got. So let's just not throw stones at everything this body tries to do. It's not fair to people who are trying to do the best for the city. I understand you don't agree with everything that we do, but it doesn't mean that everything we do is shady, crooked, and wrong. Yeah, you implied it, but you implied it. You implied it, Jessica. I sit up here. Look, I'll tear my voice up for doing this. We try very hard to do for everybody. My district has not had a new park, a new community center, or anything similar since I was born 50 years ago. To hear you say nobody does anything in Sunkist Grove, you've got the Joe Celestin Center, you've got roundabouts, you've got new swales. District 4, say what you like about your representative and the one who came before him. They've gotten a lot for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Next. Next, Mr. Prevotel.
Yes, good evening. William Prevotel, 11950 North Bay Shore Drive. Just a quick point of clarification. I did not mean to insinuate that the West Side was in any way being necessarily underserved, and I know Councilman Desalme does a very fine job, gives a lot of effort, and is working very hard on behalf of his district and the West Side in general. So we want to make that clear. My point was just that should there ever be a point where it's being underserved on the part of the Greater Council or on the staff, I would not like to see that happen. I hope that we give equal attention across the city and the best attention that we can give. I wanted to thank the council for its other various good votes this evening, and just to wish North Miami a happy Valentine's Day. Thank you.
My name is Mary Tangway. I live at 13295 West Dixie Highway. I just want to say thank you to the city of North Miami for all the things that they've done for me. My building looks beautiful. I want to wish
the mayor back and hoping he's doing healthy, and to Scott Galvin for his and everything. And I want to thank Carol Keyes for all that she does for me, for her district and everything. I think she does a wonderful job. And I just want to say thank you to come by and see my building. It has a new mural on it, and it's
I
got
was
a
gonna
bo-
make the do
Well,
the
you
bragging.
see it every day. You
I
pass
was
by.
gonna do the bragging. You guys should actually drive by. That's one of the most wonderful walls in the
It
city
looks
of
good.
Miami.
Well, he put a
Yeah.
butterfly there so you can pose in front of it.
That's nice. Yeah.
So it looks good.
I would have posed for you if you had invited me.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not finished.
Yeah.
They're going to finish it on Monday, so then
Yeah.
we'll get together and take pictures. How
Yeah.
about that?
Beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
That is our first legal mural in the city of North Miami with our new LDR, so thank you, Mary.
Judy Brown, 1100 Northwest 128 Terrace. I want to thank the city, the mayor, the city attorney for his chairing of the Clean City Committee, and because I have been coming before the council talking about how dirty the city was, and I've also talked to, and also Councilman DeSilva and the city manager last year after the hurricane. They put together teams that went out, did a fantastic job. So, you know, it was an effort, you know, it was almost like it's been an effort of more than one person. I was sort of like yelled at last meeting saying that I don't see trash around the city, so I felt redeemed tonight when the presentation was made. But you did listen and you did respond positively. And I want to thank my council person and the city manager and the city attorney and the whole council, because it was it's really needed, and you are listening to us, and that's a very positive thing, because clean cities, everybody, it's a quality of life, and I just want to thank you for that.
Citizens Forum is still open?
Mayor, council members, Frank Woland, 12865 West Dixie Highway. My apologies, Mayor and staff. I had an item on the agenda, item J, the Reflections Funeral Home. I did not, I was home on the couch when I heard that it was coming up, and I rushed over, and I would respectfully ask you to allow me to present it at the next meeting, if that's not too much trouble.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that at the next meeting,
Right.
even for respect for my other council members. Even if I wanted to, just out of respect for my council members and the people in the audience, it wouldn't make sense, you know, for me to reopen. And I mean, but we always have next meeting, so.
I'll move to officially continue tab J to the second meeting in February.
Thank you, sir.
Do you need a second? Is that what that is? Or you just moved it?
Oh, you always can add an
needs-
item.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, the manager
Yeah.
can always add an item. You don't need it. The
As a
manager can
discussion
always.
item?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it,
Yeah, it will be at the next meeting's agenda.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your courtesies. And again, I apologize to anyone who came, or certainly to staff and my misunderstanding. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard. I wanted to also make a comment on tab J. I've been on the Board of Adjustment for about 2 or 3 years, and we have a new process, which is the Zoning Appeals Board, and that is the process that applicants whose variance or special exception is denied, they can then go file an appeal with the new zoning board, which is yourselves. So I'm a little unclear where in that process you bring it to a discussion item to discuss what exactly. I mean, we trust our city to come up with the rules and the regulation and the processes, and then we expect them to be followed by everyone equally. And so I'm just not sure if this is also part of the process, that if you are denied, you can come and ask the council for something outside of the very clear step, which is a denial you file with a board of a zoning board, appeals board, and then if you're denied again, your next step will be to the 11th Circuit Court. So this is what I'm wondering is if we have a set of procedures, why would we keep entertaining people who don't want to follow those procedures? That's my question. So thank you for hearing me out.
Okay, well, that takes us to Mr. Attorney. I mean, you clearly expressed that, had we given the opportunity for this item to be discussed, that your recommendation would be not to, support it, right?
That's
Not to
correct, Mayor.
entertain it.
That's correct, Mayor.
Because of
Exactly what she just said.
of
We have a
exactly what
process.
you just said.
Yes, sir.
So
If we're going to discuss it tonight, let's just discuss it tonight. Because I move to continue this. I have no idea what it's all about. Zero idea. So
no, we're not giving. We can do that.
So either we're continuing this to the next meeting, or let's just rip the Band-Aid off and talk about it tonight. Okay.
You can be the sponsor.
No, and please don't list me as the sponsor. I have zero idea. I have zero idea what this is about.
I said that.
You wouldn't
She
be
said it.
administration.
Right. I have zero idea what it's about.
Okay, the citizen forum is now closed because I see no one coming to the mic. It's time now for reports if there is any.
Quickly. Number one, thank you, Mr. City Attorney. You've done a fabulous job with our clean cities. We have all been asking for it. You've made great strides over the year. It's such a pleasure when there is when there has been a problem in the last several months of cleanliness, dumping, this or that. I've had a real place to go to. You've taken that. You've been doing work. I don't know if people realize, but part of what we voted on tonight with the country bill is strictly cleaning under our expressways. And I didn't really get to speak, but we are going to be cleaning like at least twice a week. These are people coming through our city and just throwing out trash. I was concerned it was once or twice a week. So that is part of our clean city, and we're going to make our city beautiful. So thank you so much. I know you're really working hard on it. It's not something you have to do. It's something you've taken on your own, so thank you. And just quickly, I wish our librarian, Lucia Gonzalez, was here. Friday night and oh, there's Lucia. Thank you. For those who don't know, the president of the American Library Association, Loida Gonzalez-Fibo, chose North Miami, the City of North Miami Library, as one of 5 libraries in the country to come visit and do a rally. So we are so honored, and I mean, that is just such a feather in our cap that she came to our library. We had 2 events this weekend. They were just fabulous, and thank you, Lucia. Good job. No more.
I'll just quickly echo what the councilwoman said about the Clean City program. I've seen a lot of attempts at this over the years. Yours was the most professionally put together, organized, and results were had very quickly. The newsletter that you put out today was great, so I congratulate you on that. One other thing, I'd like to ask the City Council tonight to impose a moratorium on administrative variances for various
I second that.
regulations.
Even now, how to
Sorry, my voice is scratchy. I'll try to do my best. That we impose a moratorium on administrative variances. Administrative variances are used whenever there's a tweak to a code or a rule, and the resident who's applying wants to have maybe a setback that's a little shorter than the code allows, or a sidewalk that's a little larger than the code allows. As it stands right now, the administration can give a variance to that administratively, but there's no public hearing, and then the residents, when they see it, flip their lid. And I've had several lids flipped in my direction lately of docks or sidewalks that were approved, maybe in error by city staff, and then we just fix the problem by granting an administrative variance. I think the time has come for us to readdress how we want to handle those things. Do we want them to go through the code, through the planning commission? How do we want to publicly notify that an administrative variance is being considered? We can come up with how we want to handle it. In the meantime, though, I'd like us to impose a moratorium on administrative variances starting today.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
I second that.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to oppose the administrative variances, and that motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Bien-Aimé. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 5-0.
That concludes my report. Happy Valentine's Day.
Okay,
okay, go ahead.
as far as my report is concerned, same thing. Kudos to city attorney for his efforts to keeping the city clean, and that's one item that's very important to us, especially as the small business and residences and so forth. So second report that I have is to say thank you for everyone who's probably watching, everyone who's here who know that I was sick throughout the entire holiday, and I couldn't come to the city hall, I couldn't come to meetings, but thank God I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you, I'm breathing, and we are human, we are all vulnerable, and we should be thankful for life. Every single day when we get up, we see that we are still breathing. Believe me, do not take it for granted. And the life that you have now is not even your life. It's something that is just loaned to you by God for you to actually be the keeper of it and take care of it, nurture it, and take good care of it. Thank you very much for your support. I'm here with you, and I will always be with you wherever I am. Thank you very much.
Councilman, or you want me to?
For my report, first of all, let me thank the cleaning team and Jeff and the other group. You guys have been doing an excellent job. When it comes to I-95, and I have to take credit for it because I've been taking all the exit on I-95. I realize when I'm in downtown or in Broward, how beautiful is the exit. When it comes to North Miami, it's dirty, especially doing on Monday morning or Tuesday. That's why since about 3 or 4 months ago, we've been hiring a group to clean up I-95 from 135th, 125th, 119. And I'm happy tonight that we officially hire a company to do so. And on top of that, I would like to, for the administration, to check with maybe the LPO or of FDOT to do a new landscaping along I-95 from all 3 exit for the city of North Miami, because I see that happening in other cities. Why not in North Miami, besides cleaning up those 3 exits? And another question, Mr. Manager, I'm happy for Cagney Park. That's when we're gonna have a new Cagney Park. Secondly, and where we at with the negotiation for the architectural for Griffin Center.
You meet with them, what, is it tomorrow or Thursday?
Yeah, we'll be meeting with them within the next few days.
I have a meeting.
Okay.
So
Okay,
it's the
after they
preliminary-
finalize with the
Right.
negotiation
Right.
with the firm, then we will have public workshops so we can get the community's input about Griffin Community Center, a new Griffin Community Center. Now you have Cagney, and Griffin is on the way.
Actually, it's Friday.
That's been a total about $17.5 million project for those 2 parks. And that's conclude my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be real quick. Just to echo Councilman Galvin, thank you for the few words you said prior to that. I do want to thank the city attorney and the task force, the city administration, Circle of One. I've attended both of the cleanups that they had, and I went with Ms. Hill on the last one. We are in a city where you have background that comes into our city. And I've been in this city since I was 16, well, a little bit less than 16. And things are changing. But it's a disservice when you go either on Haitian radio or you talk and you say this city is dirty and this and this and that. It's an effort. It's an effort. If you love this city, all of us, every single person on this dais is committed, just like Councilman Bien-Aimé was talking about, that he saw what needed to be done in '95. He didn't blame it on me. He called to action. The same thing with Councilwoman Keys and Galvin and the mayor. Because when you talk about the city or a particular district, you talk about all of us up here. And I welcome, Ms. Brown will call me, and one of the things, Ms. Brown, you push me to get with administration to do what's right. And that's what we need. We need positive energy, and we need for everybody to help. It doesn't do anything for you to go and talk about, oh, it's dirty and this and this and that. Well, if it's dirty, put gloves on, get some plastic thing and start cleaning. So do not talk about, because when we are painting the houses, when we are doing things in the park, I don't see these people. So we need to step back and give credit where it's due. We have a lot of work to do, Ms. Brown, and it's not over. But I know you're going to hold my feet and the other folks in District 4 and in the other districts to make sure we, not only me, but everybody on this dais, we do what we need to do, because a better looking North Miami is better for all of us. Our home value goes up, and that's a city I will continue to live on. I also want to thank the police chief real quick. He has done a phenomenal job. Let me say this, Mr. Manager, and Ms. Chief Jariga, thank you for your leadership with the police department. Yes. And let me just say why. And real quick, Mr. Mayor, I know we got to go. This is a chief who really, really cares about the residents. He doesn't care about the color. He doesn't care if they speak English or don't. He has called me on several occasions to go on houses, which has nothing to do with police matters. So that's go beyond and above. And again, there's always room for improvement, and we're always going to talk about patrolling. We need more patrol, but that's a separate conversation. We have to give credit where it's due, because they are out there doing the best that they can, responding to things that needs to happen. And just to echo what Councilwoman Key said, I was out there with her on Friday and Sunday, and Councilwoman Bien-Aimé on Saturday. Lucia and Paul and the entire staff, you made us look good. We are so proud of you for all the work that you do. Thank you again, and to the Black History Committee, the Deputy Manager, City Administration, and everyone on that committee for an amazing month thus far. Thank you, and we hope to see you, Ms. Alston, at the after party as well on the 23rd. Thank you.
Mr. Manager?
Just one item, as housekeeping item. You all should have received the communication from the State of Florida's Auditor General stating that they are coming back to follow up on the audit that they issued last year. I meet with them tomorrow to start the engagement, but that audit is just the follow-up that they agreed to in the contract that they signed with the city. So just letting them know that they will be here.
Mr. Mayor, through you to the manager, since we're talking about audits, much has been made about a need. Some who believe a third-party audit is necessary in the city. Is our annual third-party audit about to begin, and when is that audit set to be?
It's actually it's finished. They pulled out of the city the field work, so they're done. They're just doing the report review. Our expectation that report will be issued by March 15th, thereabouts. We have to March 31st to issue, but we're expecting March 15th, like I said.
That third-party audit, would it have been any different had we spent money 3-4 months ago to hire a third-party audit, or would this third-party audit have accomplished all of the same?
This is our annual financial statement audit. They go through a full course of field work, look at internal controls and all of those things. They analyze our budget to actuals. Similar to the report we had today at the CRA meeting, it'll be a similar, disclosure. And then, of course, the follow-up from the state audit, which they, the findings, it was 25, whatever it was. I think you guys saw the final report that management responded. There again, they didn't find any fraud or anything like that. And they're just following up to make sure that the things that we said we were gonna implement, that we've actually done them. So,
Mr. Attorney, did you want to say something or did you change your mind?
Just to answer the question you probably wanted to ask but didn't, yes, all of the allegations by Terry Henley was handed over to the auditor. So they are aware of those allegations, and so that should have been examined during the audit. And so on March 15th, you'll hear what their conclusions are on that item also.
Yeah, I was trying not to go anywhere
know.
with somebody's specific name.
I
but
know.
You went there, so.
All right.
Mayor,
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Bien-Aimé has a board appointment. He would like to appoint Melton Goodwin to the Planning Commission Board.
I'll second the nomination.
All right, I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Bien-Aimé to appoint Melton Goodman to the Planning Commission. That motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The item passes 5-0.
Motion to adjourn.
So.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.